Okay, good afternoon, gents. Hope all is well. How you doing, Wood? Stop Hunter, how are you? Kev, how you doing? How you doing? Okay. I've just been looking at this bar here. It looks like a leg and a leg down, but although it's confirmed that, we've struggled to get above there, so I think it's just as likely we're in a range, which means it might work or it might not work, but I'm not going to take that just in case it does trap it. I wouldn't be surprised. I also looked at that failure as well. It didn't work, but it's a possibility. We're doing a bit of sideways. Obviously, we've got the news coming up soon, so there's a possibility it's doing that as well. So I don't really want to go short there. So I've just left it. So hey, Speedy, how you doing, buddy? Let's just remove that. So yeah, I'm a bit on the fence as to what's going on here. It's quite likely it's ranging, but it's touched it and it's touched it. I had that drawn and it's just bounced off there and confirmed that. But because obviously we've spent a lot of times trying to get above, there and come down, it's quite possibly ranging. So I just decided to leave that. So now we have got some news coming up, which is just over 15 minutes. So obviously I've got to be a bit cautious as well. It could just go a bit sideways. In fact, it's likely that that range may be a little bit bigger. So let's have a look. Yeah, see, that is possible. We could just be going a bit sideways there. So just going to have to keep an eye on that. Let's see what happens. But yeah, hope you guys are all right. I had everybody get on yesterday. Good day yesterday. It was all right for me. Nice solid day, up 5.5 points. That's the best day I've had for quite a long time. So there is a higher low there, but same again, we're going sideways. Might that push up? It could do. It's hard to say, really, isn't it? I mean, even if, see, there's a good possibility there's a channel up there, but there's also a possibility there's a range now, and we're at the bottom of the range. So is that a small enough risk? I'm glad the bar's finished enough. So not a massive fan of going long because it could be a leg down. It could pull back to the EMA and have another leg down. So if we're ranging, it's quite likely we're going to have a pullback before we continue down. So so thanks, Kev. Yeah, it was a solid day actually yesterday. I really can't remember the last time I had 3 winning trades in a day. It's been quite a while because obviously the market conditions have been tough, but lately they seem to have slackened off a little bit. There are more setups. I actually looked at that as well. Obviously I was in after that, but we got a leg up, perfect measured leg, nice big bullish bar. That's a trade, you know, after a leg up, 2 legs of correction, another leg up. It's the type of trade I wouldn't mind taking, at least back to the EMA for a couple of points. Okay, market is open. So let's have a look. Bearing in mind we have got that news coming in. So let's have a little look here. So we have bounced off that and pushed up. So I don't know if anybody's got any cryptos, but crypto is rocking at the moment. Bitcoin's gone up about $5,000 literally overnight. Where are we now? Let me have a look. Yeah, Bitcoin's gone up 12.5% overnight, which is a fair amount really, in one night. So I haven't got any Bitcoin, but I got some Solana. I bought Solana at $12, and I've got about 20 of them. What else have I got? I've got some H bar. I've got about 5,000 H bar. That's gone up 7%. And I've got some ones I got lumbered with last year. Some Saitama. That's up 11% overnight. What else? A couple of bits of stuff, but I think this is likely. This may trigger a bit of a bull run. Some people say Bitcoin bottomed out at $15,000 and we're already in a bull market, or a bull run, but just don't know what's going on. But this is the highest it's been now for quite a long time, so this might trigger it's just doing ETFs as well. I forget who it is now. BlackRock, is it? BlackRock? Something like that. So that seems to have triggered it. But I suppose it was I think we're ranging between 40 and 20k. Yeah, it's hard to say, doesn't it? I mean, there are some people I follow, people like Michael Saylor, who's the other trader? I forget his name. People sort of slightly more well known in the sort of crypto industry. I tend to follow them a bit. Some say, well, we started a bull market. Others say it could just be another push up before we go even further down. But I don't know. When you listen to lots and lots of people, you sort of get a general picture that $15,000 seem to be bottoming out. But you just never know, really. It could just absolutely rocket up. But that's what I'm saying. No one really knows, do they? But what I will say is if you look back to $15,000 where it bottomed out, it does look like it's sort of moving up. But I haven't got a huge amount in there at all, really. I suppose monetary-wise, I don't know, £1,000, maybe a bit more. $1,200, $1,400, maybe something like that, which is not a lot, but in a bull run, that can go up significantly. It's not unusual for cryptos to go up 10, 20, 30x, even 100x sometimes. If you'd have bought Solana a few years ago, that made a massive amount. But you can also get lumbered as well, and I got into crypto sort of about a year ago towards the top in certain degrees, and I got a bit lumbered, bit naive, new into it with all the hype and excitement. But over the last year, I've been learning a little bit about how it works, bear markets, bull markets, and all this sort of stuff. So I have sort of counteracted what I bought with buying low. But there we go. So what's going to happen now? We've hit this level. So I'm surprised we actually pushed off there, because after we hit a few times, I'm thinking range straight away. So many times I get into thinking pushes up, and then it sort of turns. So I always give that range a chance to develop now, but we've broken above there. So maybe we are. I'm just wondering with what's happened with crypto and Bitcoin, maybe that might get people thinking about putting money in. I don't quite know how the two correlate. But maybe. But yeah, I mean, overnight Bitcoin's gone up 12%. It's quite a chunk, that is. And we've had a couple of little pullbacks, but nothing quite as much as I thought. I thought a lot of people who might have got in around the sort of mid to late 20,000s might, when it hit 35,000, might take a chunk. But it hasn't backtracked a lot, which is a good sign, I think. But there you go. Who knows? So I don't know whether anything happening in the crypto markets will affect this. I don't know, but I'm really surprised that's done that. I really am. I thought we might have struggled there, but that's quite positive. So it did look like a leg and a leg, but in all honesty, we've had that channel up, we've had two-legged correction, and we've clearly made another leg, and obviously we've done that. But I mean, that to me is struggling to get above, so you tend to think then when we see that it's going to maybe range a bit. That's why I left that, because I thought that could trap you with a few ticks and turn down for a second leg and maybe come down here. So, but keep in mind we got this news in 10 minutes, 350 million in liquidations in BT. Really? Yeah, it is hard to know what's going to happen, really, doesn't it? I am excited about H-bar. I've read a lot about that lately. Sometimes when you find something good, it's nice to get in relatively early. And I really like that. It's at the right price for me. Where's Bitcoin now? 34,500. It's really held, yeah. 13.9%. It's gone up overnight. It's gone up. What I like as well, it's gone up. It hit 35,000 and it's going sideways, which is always a good sign. It's always good to sort of create a little bit of support and resistance. But if you click on the yearly, if you're looking on, what am I looking at the moment? What is this? Market cap, something or other. I don't know. It's on my phone. It doesn't say. If you look over the last 12 months or the last year, Yeah, it bottomed at 15, didn't it? And it's gone up, come back, up, come back, up, come back, and it's had a really good push. So not planning on selling until 2025. Yeah, I mean, if you're a young lad now in your 20s and you can get hold of a bit of money and maybe, especially now, throw 5-10 grand into Bitcoin and forget it for 25 years, you're going to have a nice little pension pot there, aren't you? I definitely think it's the future. You know, I think more and more banks are going to start to adopt it. Some countries have, haven't they? It does seem to be digital gold. Hey, Laufey, how are you doing? Hey, Clay, sorry, mate, I'm chatting with you, but I haven't said good morning to you, so how are you doing? 29, still 20, so I'm happy. You're calling me a young fella. Well, 29, see, what are you? I don't know what the sort of retirement is in the US. I know in the UK it's about 67, so based on that, you've got about 38 years worth of work, so... I mean, if I was your age, again, and I had 10,000, I think I'd be sticking it into Bitcoin or something like that and just forgetting about it. I mean, that, in 30, 40 years, I don't know, I've heard people say Bitcoin will hit $1 million at some point. I don't doubt it, maybe. And that'd be, what is it now? So $35,000 now, 10 times, 350, 30 times. 10 grand, 350,000 maybe. Yeah, you could be sat in a nice tidy amount. That's what I'd be doing now as a youngster. Because in all fairness, really, cryptocurrency, although it's sort of been around for a while, it's still relatively new. It's not had any sort of major sort of commercial adoption so much, is it? But you know, obviously, it's moving in that direction. So at some point. Trouble is, banks are they're gonna have to do something. I heard rumours banks were gonna maybe store cryptocurrency because obviously there's a storage issue, isn't there? Whether you store it on a hard wallet or a cold wallet, and you know we all hear stories about so and so had X amount of Bitcoin and they've lost the code or they've lost this, that, or the other. So banks are gonna have to take it on board and entertain it at some point, otherwise they're gonna miss out. Okay. Do you know what? Even that thing's right in my face. I still keep forgetting it's happening, and I'm looking here. So let's just put that there. Where are we now? We're about 6 minutes off. So what I'm going to do is take my finger off the mouse and let it go. Because so far it does seem to be working up. See, there is a possibility this just could be a failed breakout of a range. It's a bit early to tell at the moment because it obviously is going up, but just the fact that happened, you know, we came back, maybe another push up, failed breakout, come back in, come back down. Who knows? Who knows? Yeah, I'm 54, I am, but quite a young 54. I actually we retire at 67 here, so I've got another like 13 years worth of work left. But I have got a bit of a private pension. In fact, I've been looking at it this morning. I'm going to take a chunk of it next year. I've got about £55,000 in there at the moment, which is about $60,000. It's not a huge amount, but I am going to take some of it. And obviously depending on what's happening with crypto, whether we're full into the bull run or whatever, but I may stick some into that. The trouble is, although the thing like Bitcoin, Ethereum and all that don't have huge gains compared to other cryptocurrencies, obviously other cryptocurrencies, there's a lot more, you can make a lot more money, but there's a lot more risk involved. But at the end of the day, if you're investing money and if you can get 2 or 300% in a bull run, 400% in a bull run, it's a huge amount, really. You know, you name any other type of investment where you can get 2 or 300% in a year. Oh, look at that. That's so frustrating, that is. If that ends up bullish, that's a lovely second entry long. Touch. No, okay. It's still a trade that I would 100% take. That's so frustrating if that ends up bullish, because that is a lovely second entry. I'm not even bothered about that too much. Push up. We're coming back and retesting this. 1 leg down, 2 leg down. Got a couple of hundred sims, some cheap coins. The trouble is with the cheap coins, yeah, if you can chuck 100. I mean, I bought Saitama and I put about £300 into Saitama, and I left it, and it went up to $2,000. And this was leading up to some big Las Vegas event, and the Las Vegas event went tits up. They were supposed to, I don't know what it was, this new, the app or something was supposed to come out, and it just all went south, and the thing dropped dramatically. Look at that. What a nice setup that is. Let's have a look. Let's see how it ends. Ooh, if we didn't have the news, I'd take that for 2 points. I'd 100% take that just for 2 points to get out with the highs. Although the bars pull back a little bit, I still think it's 2 legs. It's still holding above the EMA, but let's see if it would have worked. I mean, you never know with the news, see, so you don't know. There's probably not going to be as many take that, so maybe it might not push up it. Ordinarily, I wouldn't mind taking a trade like that. So that would have got stopped out. Well, I mean, whether the trouble is, if you weren't having the news, it may have, obviously, it may react differently, so you just don't know, but leg. Okay, so there's a failed second entry long there. So if that pushes up, that might not be a bad trap, but obviously we've got the news. If that pushes up bullish, I like the way it's come down and bounced right off the top of that line. If that ends up bullish above the EMA, ordinarily that wouldn't be a bad trade, something that may interest me. Just to trap the failed second entry long. Flash services PMI. Okay, folks, I'm going to put that right there. That news is pending. So 45 seconds. So just keep that in mind. If you're looking at a trade or you're in a trade, get out of it. Sometimes it doesn't do nothing, but other times it rockets up or down. Another quite a nice bullish bar again, bounced off that bottom again. Trouble is, it could be a failed breakout. Okay, news is coming out any second now. It could just be a failed breakout of this, and it could come back in. It's hard to say yet, but okay, news. There we go. Nothing major, but it has come back in. So okay, so nothing huge. Okay, so if that doesn't push up for a new high, I'm saying that's a range. Let's put that. Let's put that for there now. Okay, so that is about it really. Nothing terrible. A little bit of a bearish bar, but apart from that, nothing terrible. It was sort of looking like it was coming back anyway, so let's see what happens. Sometimes, see, when we get that, it recovers, doesn't it? And other times it comes back a bit and continues on down, so Okay, possible hidden second entry short. It's a bit too far away from the EMA for me, and there is a possibility it could push up, so staying out. No one took that, did they, I hope? It looked like a hidden second entry short, but it's a bit congested and it's a bit too far away from the EMA, and there is a possibility it couldn't make a new high, so now that is a possible second entry short. Let's see what happens. So that looks like it's going to trap some longs. That's a possibility. Second entry short, lower high. Okay, so there's a double trap there. Trap the longs, triggered it, stopped it out. Trap the shorts, turned around, triggered it, stopped it out. I'm surprised that happened, actually. I thought that was going to stop here and come down. Maybe we are pushing up a bit more. How come you don't extend your small range to the right? Oh, that there. Yeah, great minds think alike, eh? Yeah, I just noticed where it was coming to, so I extended over. I just want to give it a chance to sort of start going sideways, and then I'll bring it over. You just did. Just before I read it, mate. Okay, second entry short there. It's just too congested. Nothing you can do with that. Probably trigger and stop you out. Reload my historic. Well, that's great, wasn't it? So that could be the top of the well. Let's put that there anyway. Okay, there's a failure there, but just choppy, nothing you could do. Could do anything than that. There is still a possibility we could make a new high there. One minute it looks bullish, next minute it looks bearish. I didn't quite like that, but obviously you're going into this, aren't you? So I think there's a chance we might make a new high here. The reason I'm saying that is I kind of like that. Let's just see what happens. It is a bit early, in all fairness, but there is possibly something bigger going on there. I'm just going to get rid of it for now. Where's yellow? There we go. Your large channel needs to make a new high before the... What about this one? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There is a possibility we can make a new high here. It sort of really depends whether because obviously it's clearly a channel. We touched 3 times, but you just don't know whether it's going to come into... If that turns into a range, it doesn't necessarily need to make a new high. So I'm a bit on the... See, it's looking... I'm a bit on the fence as to whether we're going to make a new high and it is more of a channel, or whether we're ranging and it's not going to make a new high. But obviously we've touched here, and here, so it's clearly working nice there. But obviously we've touched this area here and just turned, so could have a leg down sideways and a leg down. It may turn into a range, or it may push up here. So I'm not sure what I think. See, it's looking bullish now, but there again, it was looking bearish a minute ago, so it might just look a bit bullish just to get to the top of this range, trap a few longs, and then come back down. So I'm really not sure. Is it likely to make a new high? I'm not sure about that. I just like to keep the options open, which is why I'm not looking for a short just yet. Because we've come here, there's a higher low there. I don't know, you may have taken that failure. Bearish bar there. Maybe trigger, break out of this. Maybe some shorts, that's turned up. And it's triggered above there and stopped any of those out. So that might continue. There's probably maybe some more there. So that might continue on up, or it might just break out of this and come back down. But okay, so that's positive. The reason I'm thinking a bigger channel is I got the 10,000 tick chart here. And that could be one big channel. Which means we may, if we do make a new high up here, and there may be something bigger, but it's a bit early to tell anyway at the moment. It could trap you going long here and just turn back down out of this, so I don't know what's going on at the moment. It's a little bit choppy and a little bit unclear. Could just break out of that and come back down. Let's see if this bearish bar triggers. Something's going to move fast in a minute. You can always tell when you're going to get a big bar when you get that little shakiness like that. Usually it moves quickly in either or direction. Okay, so we're gonna, if we break above this, we should make a new high. But obviously there's a possibility of a lower high, so I'm a bit on the fence here. That's triggered. Whether you want to go long there, if you think it's going high, you probably wouldn't, which is why there's no longs in there. We've had a quick drop back, and maybe some longs have just jumped back in here, so they're either going to get trapped and stopped out, or it's going to push above there and make a new high. So I'm just not sure at the moment, because it could be just more of a range. It's definitely trying to push up. If it does get above there, then I've got no doubt we'll make a new high, because there's probably going to be some people shorted that. Okay, possible second entry long. Will I want to go long here? Ooh, that's a tough one. Part me does, part me doesn't. Because I've done this before, and it triggers you and comes down and stops you out, and then comes down into a range. So I think this is just a bit risky, because you ain't got a lot of room to the high. That's if it does form into a bullish bar anyway. That's no good. Yeah, I'm on the fence here. I'm a bit even Stevens here as to whether we're going up or down. Excuse me just a second. Sorry about that. Okay, so let's have a look here. Yeah, that's what makes me concerned about that being a channel pushing higher. That's what I mean. I've got into trades. Luckily, nothing formed, but if you'd have had a slightly bullish bar form, that for me would have been a bit just risky going into that. So I think it's more likely ranging now. I hate that. You get these phone calls about insurance and you tell them you're at work and they go, oh, okay, it's only a quick phone call. It'll take 10 minutes. No, I'm at work. Probably just a bigger range. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's why I tend to avoid going long here. The trouble is, it's a lovely looking channel, trend channel, but sometimes when it breaks, and I've got that focused on going long, and it's just turned down on me, and I've gone, what the hell's going on? And then I realised then when it starts to go, it's just ranging. That's why I'm always a bit cautious after this first break. What I like to do is let it push above here, then come back and retest it. Then I think about going long, but there was probably a few, probably not so much. But that, luckily, that didn't form. But if that would have formed slightly on the bullish side, there'd have been some traders got trapped there, I think. But I'm just going to move that up a fraction. Let's get rid of that. I'll keep that there for now. So see, if you're talking from the penguin point of view, the penguin guy, he may say, we've got a leg up, we made two attempts to go lower, and then we're pushing up. So there is still a possibility it could go again. Push up, 2 attempts. So I don't know, this is just purely guesswork, but he might say we've had 1 attempt to go lower, second attempt to go lower. So after that push up, 1, 2 attempts to go lower, and it still may push up. There is a possibility. So I always like to keep my options open. Oh, that's what you trade? Of course you do. Yeah, of course you do. Yeah, of course you do. So, yeah, you know what I'm saying then, don't you? So I always like to keep options open. And sometimes when you give yourself so many different scenarios, you miss out really, don't you? So it's trying to find some happy medium. I'm trying to think, okay, possible channel break, possible new high. But if it doesn't get high enough, it could be a range, which means it could come down and trap some longs. And then I'm obviously, the pictures just sort of jumped on me that we've got a channel up and it's a clear channel, touch, fits nice actually. Then we have 1 attempt to go lower. I don't class this as a second attempt, it's just part of the first one. And then we've come back a bit, and then we pushed up again. And this is a second attempt. So if it pushes strongly above here, then I think it might be likely it's going to push up. It's not one of the clearer trades of the penguin. Of the penguin guy. This I would say is probably slightly more advanced. Sometimes it's very clear, but that's sort of, it's looking kind of nice. So I'm just trying to think where he may have taken a trade there. It's hard to say, would he? Because obviously I'm, after more strings to me belt, so to speak. What am I doing? See, would he have taken a trade there above the EMA maybe? out before the tops. It looks like it's pushing up, doesn't it? I don't know. You probably know better than me, Clay, but it's more of an advanced one, I think, isn't it? Because it is sometimes the pictures, sometimes his trades are a little bit more smaller, but that's more over a big scale, isn't it? Yeah, if I drag the 10,000 tick chart, that's a little bit more clear, isn't it? So we've got a leg up there like that. Leg up there. 2 attempts to go. It's a bit clearer there, isn't it? But there's obviously quite a lot of bars. There's quite a lot of bars here, so it's sometimes if you have a clear leg and then up and another clear leg, but we've got all this as well, and sometimes that confuses you a bit. It certainly does with me, but I think sometimes when you just zoom out and you have a bit of a glance, we've got a leg, 2 attempts to go lower, so we'll see what happens, see if this does push up. I kind of like the way it's closing above here straight away. It's pulled back in and it's pushed straight up, so that's out before the highs. So I'd say, do you wait for that one? I mean, it's quite a big risk, isn't it? Or is it? You're going long? Yeah, I actually think that's looking quite positive. Pushed up, 2 attempts to go lower. There's clearly 2 legs, isn't there? So hopefully, whether it might come back and bounce a bit, but that looks like it's forming into quite a tight channel, which I think is a good sign. Yeah, it is. You've not got far to go. Out before the highs. Little pullback to here was okay. Yeah, I like the way that bar's closed above there, and then you could just chuck a limit order. You comfortably get picked up even a bit lower than that, but another couple of ticks, I think that'll do that for sure, won't it? So 27, wasn't it? 27 there. Yeah, I'd be shocked if that doesn't get up there, especially after pushing up strong. It's got to, surely. You're out, are you? Good on you, mate. So what encouraged you? That one there, was it? So this, when it broke above there and came down, probably not, but when it turns and pushes above there, it's hit that right to the funny enough, it's hit that right to the tick, but I'd say there's a good chance that's going to go. Yeah. Once that forms and it closes above there, you could get in on a limit or anywhere there, really, couldn't you? But let's put it back to 27. I think we'll be, oh yeah, comfortably. Oh, sound. So I try to watch this and monitor it, because the more you learn about, this, that, and the other, it just does expand your trade choice, doesn't it? And it's always good to have some other trade choices. Purely from a Pat's point of view, that's quite choppy and a bit unclear as what's going on. But from a Penguin point of view, you zoom out, we've got a channel up there. Clearly, we have a break of it. We have 1 attempt to go lower, pushed up. A second attempt to go lower, pushed up. And when that closed above, because there's quite a bit of resistance around, support around there, isn't there? Resistance, sorry. When it breaks above there, it does seem to be like it's forming into a tight channel. So, but I tend to, I did try and move over completely, but I just kept seeing Pat's trades, and I seem to, when I was trading something else, I seem to see more Pat's trades, which is a bit unusual. So what I need to do is just focus on the thing I've spent the last 2.5 years studying, and then just monitor, when it's a bit choppy for a Pat's trader, monitor the bigger picture. But that worked nice, that did. Excuse me a second. Sorry about that. Bloody cold callers. Right. Before I was rudely interrupted. I hate people. You say I'm busy working. Oh, it'll only take 5 minutes. Yeah. You're not listening. And worse, he was a ginger. So let's have a look. Okay, yeah. So it's clearly chopping from a Pat's point of view, although it's ranging in there, was it? That was a clear patch setup. Wins 80% to that. Yeah, that's all right, isn't it? So you're going for 1-to-1. It's a no-brainer, isn't it? What have you got to do with fees? 55% to even out, 53%. So if that's at 80%, it's a no-brainer, isn't it? What was the risk? 27 ticks. So what's that in all money? 5 points is 20, so it's about 7 points. Yeah, 7 points. So yeah, you've cleared. I mean, I'm on a contract anyway, but I do like to monitor these because obviously every time you see this happen and you're learning, aren't you? So when I'm doing nothing, this is not really a patch morning, is it really? What I will say though is what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that up to there for the time being. You had yours stop right below the bull bar. Oh, that one there, did you? Okay, okay. Where would he have his? Here or here? I don't know. Okay, so hold on a minute. I'm confusing things here. Confusing me picture. Okay, that's a bit clearer, isn't it? It's Penguin have had his under the swing low. That one there, then yeah. Trouble is, if you know what you're doing, it doesn't really matter, does it? As long as you're going for 1-to-1, and at the end of the day, you're out about 2 ticks before that high. So that clearly did a point above it, didn't it? So, but yeah, I try to monitor both because I think what he does is, I think he's come up with this by just watching the charts, isn't he? And really is. It's almost like it's like a second entry, but it's a bigger picture, isn't it? So if you look on the 10,000 tick chart, it's obviously a lot more clearer. We've got a leg up and it's a first entry. It's a second entry long, isn't it, really? Leg. 2 attempts to go lower. It says it's just a second entry long, really. You know, taking out the noise, so to speak. And that's all it is. And here's a higher low. So are we coming back here and continuing up? As we've made a new high, or we haven't actually? Oh, yes, we have by a tick. I do wonder whether we're going to continue on up. Let's have a look. What does the 10,000 tick chart look like if we do? Wow. I'll tell you what, that 10,000 tick chart for a bigger channel actually fits like a glove. Let me just drag it in quickly. Look at that. Fits absolutely perfect. Touch, 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 touch. Perfect. And look at the back as well. It's just as good. So there's a higher low there. I wouldn't take that too close to the highs, not close to the EMA, but it's a good indication we may be continuing higher. So I thought so there is a possibility, leg and leg, we could continue higher. We did make a new high just by about a tick, I think. It's a bit too early, really, isn't it? Okay, so leg. Come down and bounce here on the top. Okay, there's a higher low there. Trouble is, it's a bit wicky and a bit congested. I like the way that that bar triggered. So I think it's certainly feasible we could go up. Whether we'll come down a bit further first, but it's just a bit congested, which makes it just that little bit more risky. High low's not finished great anyway, but it just does look to me like it's may continue on up. Do you monitor the daily too? I tend to look at the daily when Mac opens it, just to see what we've done and what we could do. But yeah, I mean, it's been really bearish lately, isn't it? See, I don't know whether things like crypto is going to affect this. I've never really paid much attention, but we got a leg. What I'm seeing here is we got a leg up and some sideways, and I think it's feasible we're going to have another leg up. So we got a leg up, made 2 attempts to go lower, push up. I think we're going to go up from here. We often do that. I tend to look at this a bit more, and sometimes when we have a break and go sideways, usually we'll have a break and we'll bounce twice on the bottom and push up. This is definitely a bullish pattern, I believe. It's sort of like a bull flag, isn't it? What I'm seeing as well is we're making sort of slightly higher lows, although ever so slightly, but for me this is more of a bullish pattern. It's certainly on the 10,000 tick charts looking bullish, but I would like to come down here first and touch this leg down, and then start working up, because it looks better on the 10,000 tick chart. So I would think it would be leg, and then a push up again. I would prefer that a little bit further down here for my liking if I was going to go long, but it's just congested, so I know where my skill set is, and when it's like this, I don't know enough to trade it really, so I tend to just sit and watch. But leg, I do think we're going to push higher. Yes, on the 10,000 tick chart, touch. We touch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Absolutely perfect there. And we've pushed up a bit, but we've not gone very high. So I would prefer to have a second entry long off here to go again. But it looks to me like a leg up, sideways, and then a leg up. And usually when it goes sideways, once it starts skimming along this bottom line and we get a decent bullish bar, for me, that's when it pushes up. So this could be maybe, that's what I mean, a leg and a leg would take us down to this level, which is around about the same. And if we do get a nice bullish bar from here, then we may push up. That's probably gone a bit low for me, but let's see. You could trade that as a fell breakout. Let me have a look. Do I like that? I think I do.
Order submitted.
No.
Order canceled.
I'm not so sure about. Okay, never triggered anyway, so let's get that out of the way. Yeah, I mean, I'm talking maybe hypothetical at the moment. Leg. That's come down more than a leg, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, it's still holding on the line of the 10,000 tick chart at the moment. As long as it doesn't go any lower. No. Okay, so that's closed there, isn't it? Let me just. No, I'm not interested. No, that bar there closed it out of that bigger channel on the 10,000 tick chart, so I'm sitting tight at the moment. That's a way too big bar to go long anyway. So I think we're just probably ranging in a minute. I'm going to get rid of that because the midline's doing the same job. Yeah. You could trade that as a fell breakout, but one, it's a massive bar. Two, I don't like the stem. And three, that bar there took us below the channel of the 10,000 tick chart for a push up. So I think it's more likely it's just ranging. It is a process of elimination, really, isn't it? But it's, you know, from a Pat's point of view, it's quite choppy. But what I will say is, from here, that is slightly higher. That is slightly higher. That's the same. That's slightly higher. That's slightly higher. So I think it does seem to give us that impression. We've got a leg up there, and we're going to continue out. So it does look like a leg and a leg, but you can't really come in there, can you? Because you just don't know. Okay, so that's clearly made a new high. So are we going to get this push out that I think? So leg up, sideways, leg up. So let's put that there. Where's the low here? Let's put it about the bottom somewhere. Close enough. So that's a possibility. I'd like to break out the top, come back and retest it, and then that may encourage me to go. Yeah, I just read that, mate. If we don't make a new high, we're going down, we're up. So if we can get maybe 2 quick legs, second entry long off here, I wouldn't mind taking that. Let's have a look. We've been trying to get up and we have managed. I mean, we made a new high here by 1 tick. So, you know, the channel's done its job, but it does, to me, look like it's bullish. We're clearly making sort of slightly higher lows. And it is giving us that impression, isn't it? So if we can get something here. Yeah. I'm not sure about that just yet. So 1 leg back and a push up. It's an inside bar. Can't really do anything with that. First entry. Another little push down here would be nice. Now come down. Come on. 1 leg. Another down here. Push below there. Sit on top of here. I like that. Excuse me. It's got to come lower. There's just not enough room to the highs there, really.
Order submitted.
There's no room left, is there, see? No, there's no room there.
Order cancelled.
it is a second entry long, but the bar's just not brilliant. And there's only about 3 ticks to the high in there, so it might push up, but for me it just adds that extra risk I'm not prepared to take. So let's have a look. Yeah, it's 2 ticks above there. It may push up, probably will, but unfortunately I can't take that. It's just a bit risky, because we could do that, make a new high buy tick and turn back down. That's my slight issue. See, that's triggered. I wouldn't be shocked if that gets stopped out. It's just too far away from me. And there's not enough room to the highs even to get a point. Trouble is, if there is some sort of a channel there, we're right at the tops of it. I'm not sure. I'm not massively convinced just at the moment, but you know, if there is something like that, we're right at the top of it, so that adds a little bit more risk going along there. I mean, it may just rack up. It just, who knows. But it is a little bit choppy and a little bit unclear. My thoughts are we're going to have another leg out, but we could sort of come back here a little bit more, and you just don't know. But it's choppy with an upwards bit. An upwards slight bias to the upside, but it's just risky. It's clearly ranging. You can see there, touch. There's a bit of sideways there, which just adds to the risk for that one. I don't like that one. I think that's mega risky because that could easily come down and take that out. If it was down here somewhere with a bullish bar there, yeah, I'd go for it, but that's just got trap written all over it. That has, well, it's getting stopped out written all over it. I don't even think it's made a point, has it? Yeah, I doubt that, but a tick. It depends where you got into it or not, but it may push up, but it's, who knows? Who knows? Okay, just excuse me just for 1 minute. I'm going to have a quick bathroom break. Ooh, look, big push up. Actually, I'm going to hold my bathroom break a minute. Maybe we can get a higher low here or something. Let's have a look. Got to be careful of that one, that it's not just a breakout. Have a look. Come back down here a bit. Touch this. Have a look. So possibly something like that. Let's see what happens. I was hoping we'd do that. Get rid of that. No. Okay, bathroom break. I'll be a minute. Okay. Okay, so leg back. We've come back and pushed up again, so my only slight issue is if there is a channel, we're close to the top of it, so I don't really want to be going along just yet. Maybe there isn't actually. Maybe this is just sideways, and maybe the channel's going to start from here. So in which case it doesn't really make much of a difference. So perhaps something like that. Maybe. Yeah. Which channel are you on about? Are you on about that one, buddy, that I've just put in, or are you on about something bigger? I think it's too early at the moment for something bigger. Maybe it's possible. I don't know. We're still quite towards the highs of it, so you're about that one then, are you? Trouble is, I do that sometimes, and unless maybe a spiking channel. I don't know. It's still a bit early for me, that. It's got me into trouble sometimes. I like to think slightly smaller. I did that the other day, and I missed a few trades because I had a bigger one on, so maybe. Let's get rid of that a minute. So we've got a leg up sideways, break out the top. If we can get maybe a higher low here, then that might interest me. Higher low, stroke second entry long. Let's see. Just got to be careful it doesn't come back into here and trap me. That's a possibility. I don't like it though. I don't like it. I think that's risky. Because it's still a bit choppy and a little bit unclear here. I think it's going up. Whether it'll do it from that bar, I don't think it's strong enough. I prefer that down here, really, the body of it. And that will be a better second entry long. Second entry long on the daily. Trouble is, if it triggers, a lot of times it'll come back a few ticks, and if it comes back just a little tiny bit on the daily, that could mean about 10 points for us on the smaller time frame. That's not a strong enough trade for a second entry long for me. I prefer that to come down lower, and I want that body sat on there before I'm thinking about going long, because that's just got trap written all over it. If I'm looking on the 10,000 tick chart, there sort of seems to be a channel. I had it like that, which fitted perfectly for me, and then we popped out of it, and that's where we had that drop. So if I adjust this, it fits at the back, but just not comfortably for me. So I'm not ready to go long just yet. And that's what I mean about that one being a trap. It's just got stopped out now. It is a second entry long, but it's just a weak trade. You wouldn't have even got a point out of that, I don't think. It would have had to push through. Yeah, it's a weak trade, really, that needs to come back down here somewhere. That body sits on here for me to get interest, because it is still choppy and it's a bit sideways, although for me it's got a slightly bullish feel. But yeah, I think really if you can get a really good strong signal bar, that's what will encourage buyers to get in. We've got a leg down and a leg down. If we can get a good strong bar off here, then that might work. And that might be it. Let's see how that forms.
Order submitted.
Leg. So we've pushed up, we've gone up, we've made 2 legs back. That finishes. Leg. Yeah, close enough. See how that works. It's not a second entry long to the count, but it's a visual second entry long. Bars naff.
Order
If we get a
cancelled.
good strong bar there, that might be 2 legs back and then some continuation. Okay, so we've touched there, we've touched there. Touch is nice there, so leg, leg. So if it does push up from here, it might not be terrible. It does look like 2 legs back. And I like the way it's bouncing there. So if it maybe get a higher low, let's see. But my slight issue is I don't think this is right on the, what's it? I think that's more like a channel, a bit of sideways, and then there's another channel up for me. Maybe something like that would kind of work. So I'm just a bit on the fence there. So if you get a higher low here, I think that's a good call going along there, personally. If that was a better signal bar, I'd have taken that. Leg, leg. It does look like a nice 2 legs back, doesn't it? Unfortunately, the bar wasn't that good. A bit more bullish there, and I'd have taken that one leg, because I think it's likely to move up. Fortunately, it's going up without us, I think. Come back. Come back and confirm this line. That'd be nice. Leg, leg. Back here, higher low. That'd be nice. Measured move to 43.05. Yeah. Oh, you're about up here. Yeah, it looks like a leg with 2 legs of correction, then a push up. Unfortunately, I did look at that. It did look like a leg and leg, and I like the fact that it was sat on there, but it came up and then just started to dip, and that I just lost a bit of confidence. But it's not a second entry to the cake, but you can see it's clear leg, leg. So that's clear, but the signal bar could be. I was hoping we get a bit of a higher low here, but it's got to come back here, unfortunately. And it is frustrating where you sort of know where it's going. I'm pretty sure I know where it's going, but unfortunately, yeah, that's a big bar. You just can't get an ear as a higher low, because it could trigger you, come back down, 2 legs down, and then rocket up. So unfortunately, it's got to come down. It's made another new high, so if we can maybe get a couple of legs down and confirm this channel. I like the channel, it fits nice, twice at the top, twice at the bottom. That's a good sign that it fits there, but it's got to come down here and just confirm this, and then I'm good for going long there. So if we do that, then I would say we have got a leg up there, and another leg. So leg up, 2 legs of correction. So I'm looking for a bullish bar and then a higher low, because that looks like a leg up, 2 legs of correction, and then 2 more legs up. It is a bit risky taking the first one. I never do. It's only a first entry, but for me, it's looking like we're going to continue on up, but I'll have to have a look at that one. See what happens. That's possible, although less likely than this, I think. If we can push up from here and maybe get a high low, I don't know whether we will. If we get above this, I can see it just going without us, unfortunately. Excuse me a second. Okay, sorry about that. Daughter's just come over. Okay, so we're barely holding. It is barely. I can do that fraction. So there's obviously a possibility of a slightly wider channel. Let's remove that a touch. So let's have a look. What time is it? We may have something from Mac now, so not sure about that. Let's see if we get something from Mac. Oh, no. Oh yeah, just this second popped up. That's good. It's just this second popped up as I was looking about it. So hopefully he might include some of this. There may be 2 legs down there. It may just be range in there. Not sure. There is a second entry along there, but it's a bit congested. It's not very clear, so sit tight there. Okay, so Mac has got exactly the same as us, basically. Sideways, that little bit popping out, but yeah, exactly the same. That's it there, exactly the same. Bigger channel there, breaking out, touching at the bottom with that little bit there and this bit here, so it's got it exactly the same as us. So this channel up there, a little bit of a break there. So it does look like it's working higher, doesn't it? Just trying to think. It's just not very steep. I hate these the channels that aren't steep enough. Someone told me the less steep they are, the less reliable they are. It might have been Mac, I don't know. Let's have a look at that. So that's a possibility. In which means we'll have to come down here. So touch. I like the way it's touched once, twice, and close enough there. So push up, made 2 attempts to go lower, started pushing up. So I think that's a strong possibility. See if we get a leg and a leg. I can't see anything else at the moment. I can't see anything from here. Just doesn't work. That just is nothing, is it? I don't think. Possible. I don't know. It's just not very clear at the moment. So that one is a possibility. But regardless of all of that, it's clearly just choppy, so it may continue to the side here before it pushes up again. Do you know what? I do wonder whether there is maybe something bigger. It's possible. It's possible there is something bigger. The only reason I'm saying that is because I've just drawn it on the 10,000 from here. It's not the best looking channel in the world, but so it's not mega clear at the moment, which is why I've just graded out. I've just filtered out the color, just so it's a possibility, but it's a shame that bar wasn't a bit better, because I like that push up a little bit sideways. We had a break up, 2 lovely legs back, perfect 2-legged correction. But it just, if that finished up there, I'd have taken that for sure. But unfortunately, it pushed up and then just came back halfway. So we're at yesterday's highs. I usually mark yesterday's highs. Right, there we go. Cancel. Play load. Oh, I bit the wrong thing. That's why. Yesterday. Oh, no. Yesterday's highs and lows. Excellent. Okay, so yeah. I usually mark that, but I forgot. But yeah, it's having a couple of bounces there, which might be a good thing. Oh, straight push up. Okay, so if that is a bigger channel, we've touched up here quite nice actually. So let's see now if we come down here. So let's colour that because that's confirmed. And this is a little bit on the fence, isn't it? So let's grey that out. So it does look like a leg with 2 legs of correction, and now it's working up. I can't see any other type of channel that may fit there. We touch there. It's working nice at the top, but for me, it's just working in the top tier of a 2-legged channel, a 2-tiered channel. So let's just make that. I think that's quite likely. I can't see anything else. We're clearly working up, but I can't see anything else that resembles anything. Even as a spike and channel there, not brilliant. It just, for me, it's working in this top tier. So, but it does look like a leg with 2 legs of correction and then another leg up. At the end of the day, there may be something bigger. Okay, we're right at the top, so I'd expect that to come down a bit now. The only thing about working in these 2-tiered channels, I get very nervous about taking a trade here because there's always that possibility it could trigger you and come down to this side. I've had it happen to me a couple of times, so whenever I see trades here, if they're really good setups, then I'll usually go for them, but if they're not as good, I just get really nervous about taking them because I've been trapped before. Okay, so we came back to the EMA. I expected it to there. You're not going to buy there, I don't think, are you? It's not a place to buy. Break new high. Yeah, I wonder if crypto has anything to do with this moving up. Being a bit bullish today. Bitcoin's still holding really nice, actually. It's going sideways right at the top, which is encouraging. Okay, leg back, break, leg back. Let's come back here, retest this top again, confirm this channel, and then hopefully if we can get in here, we've got plenty of space up here to try and get a couple of points. But that so far it's working quite nice there. So we're holding at the midline there, which is encouraging. That tells me that it's quite likely that this channel might be valid. But that's just a first entry. So for me, we're going to have to come back here. Edward, how are you? Would be surprised to see this come all the way down to the bottom of the channel. Yeah, that's why I get nervous about taking trades this, but that's clearly fitted in there, isn't it? So even if you have a break here and a new low, you're not going to go long here, are you? You're going to wait. So yeah, I agree. Hopefully if we can get a break and then maybe down here, somewhere around here would be a nice place to take it, wouldn't it? Confirm this bigger channel. I like the way it's fitting really nice at the top, so that's encouraging. We've touched twice. I like the way that's touched a few times there. So if we can get that, then we may have a chance to get some points there. But that's still closed within that little micro channel. So if we can get a break here, maybe another leg down, that would be good. Okay, so short and trend channel break. Let's look for a new low. I hate it when it moves over itself like that. So we're going to leg break, looking for a new low, ideally somewhere around about here, to then try and work up. So this is sort of going sideways, which I kind of like. Hopefully it'll work up to here. And if we can get a really good strong signal bar there, I could see that really having a good strong push up. It's starting to look as though it's fitting nice. So leg down, a couple of legs up. Let's get down here somewhere. Come on. Oh. ATR's nice. I like it around about 2. Okay, looking good. I like the way it's moving sideways and down. This is where I want to be. Looking good. Perfect. Exactly what I want. Down a bit and sideways just to get over to here somewhere. I'm not interested in trade there. It's just floating in the middle of nowhere a little bit. It's got to get some sort of a little bit of support down here. And I like the fact that we got the top of this where we've been sort of ranging leg and a leg. This is a perfect place for me. Leg, leg. So, okay, somewhere around about there. Okay, this is where I want to be. Not that far. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Come back, come back, come back. Don't get excited. I can adjust this a fraction. That's fine. That works. So a leg and a leg. If that ends up bullish, I'm looking for a higher low. I never take the first one. I've been shafted so many times. I've learned the art. Don't do that. No, get up, get up, get up. Come on. Can I move that without being too? Yeah, I suppose I can. Do you know what? Do you know what? Actually, what's that like? Oh, I don't know. I think that's quite a nice bar, actually. The trouble is, I'm still a bit unsure about how this channel's going, so I'm not taking it. Let's put that more there for now. Yeah, I think that's okay. Trouble is, it is still a little bit choppy, and it just means it could move a little bit more unpredictably. What I'm liking at the moment is the 10,000 tick chart is sort of working. We seem to have a couple of legs back, and we seem to be coming out. I like the way we come back and nick there like that. So if we can get something, if we can hold here somewhere, then we may still get some push up. We'll see. So there's always the possibility this isn't a channel. And that's looking kind of nice to me, isn't it? I'm not a fan of it. Sometimes if you're not a fan of it, get rid of it. It's kind of looking a bit bearish, isn't it? I'm a bit on the fence now. Sometimes if you just get rid of them, it sort of clears things up a bit. So we're going upwards, sideways. We've had a bit of a push out, but it's not holding, is it? Okay, possible second entry short, depending on how you're reading this. I'm a bit on the fence here. Touched. We sort of confirmed that down channel. But it has got an upward bias. I just can't see a channel I really like at the moment. Maybe that's okay. Trouble is, you've got to be careful going along here because there is a channel which is confirmed and it can trap you. My thoughts are the overall picture is we're slightly bullish, aren't we? So we have touched a couple of times here. There was a big bar there, but it is quite a big bar. I'm not prepared to take that risk until I'm really clear and know what's going on. Tick below, tick above. It's knocking on 4 points. That's too much for me. It's still very choppy. Okay, there's a possible failure there. Still not a massive fan, to be honest with you. No, I don't like it. No, I don't know. Big bar, reasonable size bar. It's losing momentum to me. I think it's almost sideways. That's what I mean about that. It's a confirmed channel. Touched. So it's a break, so it could come down and make a new low. So going along here is risky. If you took that higher low, you probably got your points. But it's just very sideways, and that's what's making me nervous. You'd have got a point and a quarter to squeeze out of that. I'm not liking it at the moment. Let me just get rid of this a minute. It's sideways. Yeah, it's still up a bit, but it's still choppy, which just for me adds risks. Yeah, it's just a little bit unclear at the moment, isn't it? It's sort of slowly going sideways with an upward bit. That's not a very technical term. Just fitting nice at the top. We've touched. So it's definitely confirmed, isn't it? But it's sideways as well. Just because we've got an upward bias doesn't mean it can't go sideways within that. See, look at that. That's unnerving, isn't it? There's going to be some longs in there. If they didn't take that, for sure they're going to be taking that. And then they've got a point, if they're not out for a point, thinking that's going to take off from there. Ordinarily, the way it's looking, you think that will be a great launch pad, wouldn't you? But I don't like this. It's just not clear, and it's sideways, so I think there's risk added. So, yeah, I thought as much. It's not clear. Yes, we've got an upward bias, but it's going sideways, so that for me was just risky. I did look at it. It's a big bar, and it's just not worth the risk. So what is that? Let's have a look. If I roll over that, it should tell me. Why is it not telling me? If I click on that, will it tell me? Oh, zeros is. So tick below, tick above. Yeah, that's 4 points. That is just too much there. I don't get me wrong. I tell you what, I bet you £1 to a penny. There'd have been loads of traders getting in that. I'm surprised that didn't really drop there because we got a touch. We got a couple of touches there, 2 touches there, touch. Clearly a higher low. I'll be surprised if some people didn't trade that because it's inviting looking if you're thinking up. But for me, it's just sideways and a bit choppy. So that just makes things, and obviously the way that turned down, that was a bit of a bigger bar. What was the actual bar size? So that was 5.5 points straight down. So leg down, break. Maybe we're going to make a new low here. I don't think we have quite yet. So I'm a bit on the fence here, folks. I don't know what your thoughts are. Everyone's a bit quiet today. I don't know, maybe. I should have thought low feet, so frustrating taking no interest. Yeah, it is. And later see Thomas Way taking 3. I'll be surprised if he takes 3 today, but what you've got to keep in mind as well is sometimes what people say and what they do are 2 different things. Now, a lot of people mark trades, but it doesn't necessarily, because I know Marco marks sort of 3 or 4 sometimes, but I'm pretty sure he said in the past he only takes 1. He tries to get 1 a day, sometimes 2. So, sometimes they mark these after the fact, but not necessarily take them. Do you know what I mean? But in all fairness, it is choppy as shit today, so I bet there are some people who are getting a bit battered around today. So I've adjusted that to there, which, does it make any better? Who knows? But I bet there'll have been some traders who got a bit scorched today, because it is, although we are going up, there are plenty of places where you get trapped. But it's just clearly just a bit choppy, isn't it? So what I will say is, if I look on that 10,000 tick chart again, we've come down and we've had a bit of a break. We haven't made a new low, but that's encouraging that it's pushed up. So maybe at some point, the trouble is, until we get something really encouraging to go long, it's just going to keep going sideways, because it's certainly got a bullish feel to it. There's no argument there. But I can't see anything that's really encouraging. That, for me, it's a bit choppy and a bit sideways. But if it can get a really decent, solid entry, I think then it'll have a good, strong push-up. It makes sense, doesn't it? We're studying human behaviour, and human beings, traders that are looking at this market, have got to be confident in a nice, solid bar. If it's not clear, better. Absolutely, it's why I'm not taking anything. But, 1 minute that looks bullish, it goes up 1.25 points, and we just get that big drop and it stops it out. But yeah, I just tend to leave this now when it's like this. The trouble is, you think sometimes I'm an inferior trader. Why can I not read this? If people like Mac don't have said multiple times, you can't trade this, just leave it. And he's been trading 25 years plus. So sometimes you're just not meant to know. You think you've got to try and figure out what's going on, but in some cases you haven't. Because, we've got some of the most talented traders in the world trading this market, and they're clearly not, there's no massive longs in or massive shorts in, is there? So I'd rather miss. Absolutely, mate. My policy exactly. One thing you can guarantee about not taking a trade is you're never going to lose a penny. I've got no problem with it. I used to get more and more impatient as the day went on, and in fact, if you look at some of my early videos, I ended up taking a trade in the last 10 minutes, and it was usually a loser. So, yesterday I had 3 trades. It was up 5 1/4 points. Really nice, solid day. And then sometimes you might have a blank day. I've got no problem with that at all. For me, it speaks volumes about your discipline, and that's one thing I've struggled with in the past. But if you look over my recent videos, you'll see more and more no trades days, and I haven't got a problem with that at all. Much better to take a no trade. You take a bad one, then you've got to make another trade tomorrow just to get back to break even. So yeah, I've got no problem with that. Martin B, have we spoke before? I'm trying to think. Martin B, doesn't ring any bells. Who are you, bud? Where are you from? I always like to know the new people. Martin B, where are you from, mate? Clay, yeah, there's definitely a bullish bias, isn't there? No argument from me. Are you from Switzerland? Have we spoke? Did we have a chat last week for about 10 minutes? I think we did, didn't we? Oh, no, were you from... Oh, we did, didn't we? I chatted for someone with Geneva. Was that you, or was that... I've got a brain like a sieve lately, mate. That's what happens when you hit 54. I'm sure we had a conversation. Different user account a few months back. Oh, okay, I got you. Switzerland, absolutely amazing place. I travelled through it once on a train about 30 years ago. Was it 30? Yeah, about 30 years ago. Fantastic place. Absolutely spectacular. Picture postcard. Different username. Okay, that's good. That's good. Hey, Sam, how you doing, bud? How have you got on today? Yeah, there's nothing I could say that I really would have taken them. Was there? I think there was one which interested me, but it's just going sideways, isn't it? Ends it in green, but not happy with my trading at all. Do you know one thing I've learnt, Sam, is sometimes, because these markets move so fast and require quite a bit of an emotional content, sometimes I think a lot of our trades are down to just a bit poor judgment and maybe a little bit of a mistake. So I've really had to try and work hard to try and forgive myself, because sometimes when I've had a bad day and I've done something stupid, I almost get suicidal, sort of, not literally, but I mean in revenge trading. You almost punish yourself. You think, I've taken a crap trade today, sod it, I'm going to take a stupid gamble. If I lose, it's my own fault. So I've had to sort of learn to forgive myself, because you can make mistakes. Markets move really quick and it's very easy to misjudge something. But, I think a lot of our trades are down to mistakes, as opposed to maybe taking something too risky. But it is clearly choppy, isn't it? It has got an upwards bias to it, but it doesn't mean it's any easier to trade just because something's going up. There's an easy uptrend and a bloody awkward uptrend. But at the end of the day, mate, if you make a mistake, you do something silly. Sometimes we get lucky, and other times we don't. But it's a lesson. See, that's looking nice from here, isn't it? But the trouble is, so did that one, and that got stopped out. So I just don't get involved at the moment. I just got wrecked trying to. Did you really? Ouch. Yeah, I know the wrecked. I've never traded all, but I certainly know what the wrecked feelings feels like. That's for certain. Not happy about it, though. I am usually in control throughout the stream. Never come back to the charts when I turn off. Do you know what? This is day 10 now. I have not come back in 10 days. I have never done that. So there's two things I've had issues with. One, I've always traded 2 contracts, and I've changed that. And I've always come back to the stream. I'd say 9 days out of 10, I've come back. to the stream after, and I would say probably 7 or 8 times out of 10 when I do, it doesn't end well, as you well know. So the fact that I've reduced my contract, which is clearly suppressed those emotions, and I haven't come back, it's crossed my mind, but I've not had the urge to do it because maybe my thick bloody brain has finally realised that I need to start listening. You know what I mean? But look at that. Looks really nice off there, doesn't it? Look at that. It's gone up, comes back down. I won't be surprised if that gets stung. But look, it's holding there. It's held once, twice, 3, 4, 5 times there. Really nice. 3 times there. A few times there. Touch there. Let's see what happens. But look, if you'd have gone in that trade, you'd have soiled yourself as that came down. Too choppy, yeah, it is, Martin, isn't it? Yeah, when it's like this, even half decent setups that you expect normally to work are just extra risk. Lots going in person. Of course you have, yeah. Yeah. Of course you have, mate. Yeah, it does make a difference, that. Absolutely. 100%. Yeah, look at that, see? Touching 3 times. Yeah, I remember when my mum passed away, I traded for 3 days in a row and I had 3 red days. So you don't think it'll make a difference, but it absolutely does. Okay, so there's my issue with that trend channel. For me, it's going up, but it's not very clear. So if you'd have taken that one, and I wouldn't flipping blame you if you did, because look, you know, ordinarily a bar like that, this is why now I never take that first bar. I always wait for a higher low. But yeah, so it is frustrating, but the fact that it's going sideways just makes trades like that extra risk. See, it wasn't long ago I'd have just taken that anyway. But yeah, look at that. There's probably some stops there. There may have been some there. It may have a really strong push down that. But yeah, I suppose with experience and time, you learn to sort of spot these areas, which is, I mean, I'm much better now at getting trapped, or better at not getting trapped. There was a time I used to get trapped all the time. It used to drive me around the twist. But one good thing about getting trapped is that you learn quickly not to get trapped. So when these areas, you know, like this appear themselves, I mean, ordinarily we've had a channel down, we've had a break. It's confirmed. We've got a touch here, touch here, touch here, touch here. Break, clearly new low. It's clearly struggling there, isn't it? No argument there. The bars go from being a decent sized red to smaller and smaller, and they start to turn, and you get a nice bullish bar. 3, 4, 5 perfect touches off there. Ordinarily, not a bad place at all to go long. But what happens? It goes up about 1.25 and then turns down, and you get this shower of shit. Let's have a look. So you'd have got a point out of that, depending on where you took it. But look, goes up. All of a sudden, down it comes. So there'd have probably been a few traders there. Maybe some here with stops a bit further down. See if you'd have taken that one. See, we put our stop 1 tick below there, but a lot of other traders, they may jump in here and put their stop down here, but obviously came down and ate a few stops by the look of it, but so yeah, it's a bit unclear really, isn't it? But I actually don't mind sometimes when you get a blank day, because part of trading is patience, and it's one of the particular, you know, one of the many parts I've struggled with in the past. So when I sit here for 3 hours and I don't take a trade, I kind of feel good about myself. It's working on my discipline gene, if there's such a thing. But at one point it was starting to look quite clear, wasn't it? We got this couple of legs back, and it started to look kind of clear, but then obviously we had this bit of chop here and a bit more. But what can you do? What can you do? But I'm doing all right here at the moment. I've had 8 winning trades in a row, so I'm kind of in a good place at the moment because I'm learning. My skills are slowly developing. It does take time, but I feel a lot more confident in my trades now. Well, I feel a lot more confident. I know what the market's doing at the moment. Clearly not, but the more you sit and watch this, you know, certainly for me and for everyone really, you do start to understand how it works a lot better, which is why Mac talks so much about screen time. And I suppose it's the case for most skills. The more you do it, the better you get at it. You can't help not, really. You can't sit in front of this 3 hours every single day and not start to know what's going on. So we've had a break out of this, if you call it a channel. It looks like a channel, though it's very messy. We've had a break. Are we going to push up or are we going to come down? I've got no idea. We could do either. That might have just flushed out some of this and then it may continue up. But for me, I wouldn't like to say 50-50. We could get a couple of legs up. As we broke this, we could get a couple of legs up and then come down maybe to this level again. Retest this. There is a possible second entry short, but I'm not getting involved just in case. Because it could trigger you and push up, or it may come down. I don't know. Nice second entry short, but for me, a bit risky. Not ordinarily, I wouldn't think that was a bad trade. But as we've just had a quick flush down, we may push back up. And the way that's triggered that and pushing up there, I'll be shocked if it doesn't stop that out. So you do get to notice these areas, and mostly from getting stuck and trapped and losing. So losing, losses used to frustrate the hell out of me. They kind of do still, but you can't learn without losing. And unfortunately, this is just that unfortunate type of business that when you lose money. Other types of lessons with other jobs, are different, but you need to start loving losers. I've heard that say before, and I've got to think about it. I've got to change those words. But I know what you say. Learn to love your losers. Learn to embrace your losers. It's in an odd way, but I know what you're saying. It's because how you deal with a loser, literally, it's life and death as a trader, isn't it? If you can just walk away from a loser, put it behind you and forget about it, you're golden, I think. Because it is tough. I mean, I sit here sometimes and I think next time I have a lose, I'm going to deal with, I'm going to do this and do that. And when I have a loss, I still get that same feeling. But I will say, and I've said this a few times now, when I reduce to one contract, the losses don't hurt nowhere near as much. And I think the difference of that pain is the difference between revenge trading and not. So it's working so far for me. And the one thing I've heard a million times since I started, everyone who starts trading risks too much. Me included. Normally I learn my lessons and I listen to people, but for some reason that's one piece of advice I've just never taken on board, probably because maybe greed. The trouble is we all hear massive stories about these huge payouts, so we know how much you can earn in this business, and sometimes you get blinded by the dollar, don't you? Okay, so there's a lower high there. It's probably going to come down, but we've had a lot of congestion up today, and this is no difference. It is a lower high, and it probably will come down, but it's still choppy. How long does it take you to pass a challenge? An evaluation. Is that what you mean? Evaluation. I tend to rush him. I have done in the past. 10 minutes maybe. I don't know, but I tend to rush him. Or I have done up to now, but I'm going to trade him differently because on a couple of occasions I've had 4 and 5 PA accounts, and I've ruined them by risking too much. So I'm going to change things now. So I'm probably going to go for maybe 3 to 4 contracts on an evaluation. So I'm guessing probably a week, 10 days. If you rush them and you risk too much, you'll blow way more. So it's 7 days. I think 7 days is enough, I think. My nerves. I was in that. Really? I just looked at it again, and when it started to go back, I thought about getting in on a limit order. In all fairness, it's probably going to come down. I'd say 8 times out of 10 that's going to come down. Once it gets below this, I think it'll come down. But I know what you're saying. Yeah, it is choppy, and it is a little bit sideways. I'd say it's pretty much gone. I'll be shocked if that gets stopped out. Here it comes. I'll be shocked if that gets stopped out. That'll certainly come out for a couple of points, but it is choppy, and it's been choppy. There's a couple of points. I'm confident that I get a couple of points. I'll be surprised now if it's below this. It doesn't come down to the bottom. Leg and a leg maybe. It's below this, so I don't think it'll push up now. But yeah, it's tempting, isn't it? How big was the bar? I was tempted myself, but when I've had a patient day, 3 points, yeah, 3.5 points, I'd say, tick above, tick below. But yeah, just the whole day's choppy. And it is 1-2 legs up and a lower high. So I think, in all honesty, it will make 2 points. I wouldn't be surprised if it comes down at the bottom, but the fact that it is choppy, it just makes the day a little bit more unpredictable. And for me, it goes for that as well, although that's relatively clear there. But you just never know, do you? Sometimes when it's like this, it's just, ordinary trades like that, I thought would have worked perfect there. I mean, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touches, all holding on that line. And if you look down the line, we got 3 touches there, 2 perfect touches there, 1 there. Looks nice. You would think ordinarily that would rocket up. But look, it goes up, turns down, drops. But there you go. What can you do? I think that'll hold. I do. I think it's a solid bar. There's a failure there. I'm not getting in. If I was going to get in, it would have been up here or here, but it's gone too far for me now. But I'd be confident that would make 2 points. I mean, we're coming down. We've had 2 legs up. Nice lower high. Nice bearish bar. A failure there. It's looking bearish enough to get this down here, I think. Although there is still a little bit of some resistance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 touches, so that could send it up a touch. Usually, and I said this yesterday though, whenever you get these good signal bars, usually the stops stay intact. So let's just put that there. Get rid of that. So I would expect certainly that one. 50% on the daily fib just touched. From the hold, yeah, that's it. For the whole day. Oh, it has, yeah, bang on. Or right to the nearest tick. So we've got leg down, 1, 2 attempts to go lower. If this ends up bearish, for me it's coming down. This looks like a penguin type of trade. Leg down. One attempt to go higher. Two attempts to go higher. Who knows? What do I know? How much did that first one go? So if you'd have took that one, you'd have been comfortably out for 2 points. That went for 3.25, so 2 points. You'd have been out comfortably for those lows. So that channel's played out anyway. As I say, I didn't mind the setup actually. It's a second entry long. Ordinarily, it's kind of a nice trade, but when we've been pushing up for such a long time and we've had that quick drop, sometimes it recovers, doesn't it? So that stopped me getting out of there. And it is a bit wicky. Kev, that's the one. Yeah. Yeah, see, the thing about that one is, yeah, it's a lower high, but it is a lot further down. Your stop's low and the bar's a bit bigger, isn't it? So don't get me wrong, I like the setup. We've got a leg down. My only slight concern is we could push it up for so long and then had a quick drop. Sometimes you'll get a quick drop, flush out loads of longs, but you see it quite a lot, don't we? We had a quick drop down and then it almost recovers straight away, which is why I left that. And when you've sat through a load of chop, you naturally got your heckles up, haven't you? And you're in sort of caution mode, aren't you? Red alert mode. So leg down, 1, 2 attempts to go higher. This is coming down for me now. Okay, so both of those work clearly. That'll come down to the bottom, I think. So penguin trade there, I think. Leg back. It's Clay around, is he? Clay, I tell you. Leg down, 1, 2 attempts to go light. It looks like a penguin trade, that. Whether he'll take it or not, because he usually likes to get out between the lows, doesn't he? But maybe he won't actually. Or would he consider those the lows? I don't know. So leg, come back, retest this, come down to the bottom. Is there anything bigger there? I wonder. Oh, misses. Look at that. Oh, I like that. Very nice. Okay, so let's scrub that. So let's have a look at this. Let's adjust some things. Maybe we are just in a bigger range day. It's certainly possible. I think it's very possible. So let's forget going up for now. I think this is coming down. We've had a leg up there. We've had a couple of legs back. We've had a few legs up to the top. And now it looks to me like this is reversing. So that trade all of a sudden is looking like something I wish I'd taken. Because I can see this continuing down. Where could it go? There is some... There's going to be some support along there. Somewhere around about there. So that may stall a bit. But it may just turn into a big range day by the looks of things. If we can get below this. I mean, it looked like it was pushing up, but it'll only try and go up for so long before it just... Traders, I suppose, just give up, don't they? So, touched a bunch of times there, touch there. I like how that fits. In fact, I could maybe take that up a touch more. So there, bring that down a bit. Yeah, I like how that fits. Fits nice on the backside as well. That fits lovely for me. So we got a leg and a leg, bit of sideways. I think there's a good chance of coming down. There's probably going to be a bit of resistance there. We may teeter around, but this is looking kind of just like a big range day now. So no trades as yet. Patience is working nicely. 8 trading days, 9 actual days since I picked up that just one. So I'm going to trade, as I mentioned the other day, I'm going to trade that up until I can get a payment. When I get a payment, I'm going to pick more up. But if you're still struggling and you're still trading 2 contracts on a 50,000 PA, consider coming down to 1. It really is making a difference with me. There's less nerves. Do you know, I've picked up some really bad habits I have of coughing and sniffing and clearing my throat, some real bad habits. But I've noticed in the last few days, since I've reduced that risk, that's dropped off. I look less like a dribbling nervous wreck, or sound less like a dribbling nervous wreck. Ever considered trading micros? I did. The thing is, for me, micros, the what's its cost much, don't they? The fees are more. But I think one contract is about right. It's around about 5% risk, which I think for futures seems about right. I've heard people like Daniel talk about 5%. And obviously when you hit that $2,600 drawdown, once you get above 3,000 and you start to climb, that risk obviously starts to get a little bit less and less. I've thought about it, maybe trading so many and having a runner, but I thought I'd try just coming down to one first, and if this doesn't get any better, then it might be a case of having to, I think. But this is working okay from now. I'm averaging $100 a day, which some cases I didn't average with 2 contracts, but I'm not as stressed in trades, so sometimes I'll let those trades run a bit more, because sometimes I panic and get out earlier than I really should have done. So this is working for me. I definitely feel different. I've not at all taken any type of revenge trade or anything stupid. I haven't come back later in the evening after the trading day finishes. So far it's working nice. I feel good about myself. I'm feeling positive, and it's making me want to succeed. So far so good. And not only that, 1p account, there's a lot less stress with 1p account. So far, fingers crossed, I'm being a good lad and behaving myself, so hopefully. I like that bar. Unfortunately, it's only really a first entry. But I would expect a bar like that to maybe encourage a few shorts. See how it finishes. My only slight issue with that is there's probably going to be some support around there. Well, there is, so whether that bar's just getting bigger and bigger, isn't it? But that's probably may pick up some shorts there, but I'm just sitting tight at the moment. And we've had 4 touches at the same level there, so but I really like that channel. It may work, but it's only a first entry. Although I like the bar, I like where it is, but it's a little bit congested there. We've got 4 touches, 5 now if you consider that, right at the same level, and that means, well, we know what the day's like so far, don't we? Day's just been shit news after shit news, really. So it hasn't triggered that bar yet anyway, but there's clearly a little bit of congestion there. So but for me now, I think we're looking bearish with an overall of a big channel, I think. Now, somebody mentioned we hit 50% on the fib, which I think we've just surpassed that now anyway, so are we going to come down? I think it's likely. Yeah, we've dropped below that a bit now, so I do like that. Fits really nice for me. Can I ask you guys to hit that like button? I want to start to grow the channel a little bit. I know I generally don't mention it in the first because it's never really bothered me, but I'm making about $50 a month from YouTube actually for streaming. So as that goes up, apparently it's something to do with the algorithms in the What's It, which says whether your channel meets What's It. It's never really bothered me before, but as you're in, it's only a click. I feel cheeky asking, but There we go. But if YouTube want to pay me a bit of money, it all helps cover me trading cost. So I appreciate that. Yeah, so if you'd take, well, it didn't trigger anyway, that bar. So, oh, thanks. It's popped up. Lovely. I appreciate that. It does reach more people, I think, I believe. I don't know too much about it, but so they tell me. So we've gone sideways. Now we're starting to come up to this, the top of this channel, and that channel's nice. If we can get something nice here, that may interest me. Or maybe a lower high. My concern is I'm out before this level here because there's probably going to be some, maybe a bit of stall in there. So 25 likes. Excellent. Thank you. Much appreciated. Okay, let's see where we get on the done. Brilliant. Thank you, Edward. Well, I've never really been interested before. I've never never mention it. But someone told me you should ask people because it can increase what YouTube will pay you. Not that it's much, but it's nice if it can cover me trading. It doesn't cost you guys anything, so I wouldn't ask otherwise. That's fitting really nice there. So if we can get something nice here, I may be interested in taking a short there. Oh, 30 likes. Excellent. Thank you. Okay, so let's see what happens here. It's still a bit congested, so, but it's come right back. I like the fact that it's struggling along that line now. Maybe there's a leg up and a leg up. So leg and a leg. Actually, there is a leg and a leg. Let's see what happens here. You can't deny that line, and look where it is. Come back. It is congested and it's sideways, but if it gets to that area and provides us with a nice big bearish bar, I think I'd be daft not to take that. Let's have a look. Why did I have to go and do that? Okay, it's definitely not playing ball today. I've got no problem with finishing on 0, actually. I don't mind. Could I adjust that fraction on that? Probably. Let me move that over. Yeah, that's okay. I think Clay, I went long here. Are you gone long, have you? Okay, go on up. Trouble is, we're down at the moment, aren't we? So, let's have a look. Let's have a look at the big picture. I've got my fingers crossed for you, mate. Fingers and me toes. Let's just move that over a little bit. I hope I don't jinx you by moving that over, mate. Down. I mean, it could be a break and a new low. I don't know, but I know it fits just lovely. In fact, I'm going to move that back to where it was. Because this is clearly pushed up enough to be considered a break. It's a real nice channel, that, so maybe we're going to have a couple of legs and then down some more. As I say, if you look left, there's a lot of congestion around here. In fact, if I remember rightly, didn't we have a... I'll tell you what we did have. We had one of them, didn't we, if you remember? Because someone mentioned to me about extending this, so I would say, yeah, look at that. Fun enough, look how that's just worked. There's definitely some resistance there. Sorry if... sorry, hold on a sec. I'll get out of it. So, will that make a difference? I don't know. You're out 3 points. Good on you, mate. Yeah, there's clearly a little bit of resistance around there, isn't it? Somewhere. I like 3 points. Good number for me. Support resistance. I have mine set at 3 points. 12 ticks. I like that. It's a good number, that is. That way you always usually cover 1-to-1 on average. If not, a touch more. You'll get 1-to-1 and cover your fees a majority of the time. What's that? So the ATR's to well. So a tick above, tick below is less than 2 3/4 points. So you've given yourself 3 points there. So you've got more than 1-to-1. I know you've covered your fees. So I like 3 points. It's kind of where I like to be. It's a good number, that. So we've bounced off this bit of support. You can see it right along there. It's definitely playing a part. So what are we going to do now? What's going on here, Clay? We've got a leg down here. First attempt to go higher. Let's see what happens now. I'd like to make another little attempt. If we do, I might be interested in that. Right now. Okay, so we've got a first entry, second entry, second entry failure. Failed second entry short. If that finished bullish, I'd like to see that trigger. No, it didn't. Okay, so we got a leg down, one attempt to go higher. Let's get another push up. Okay, so no second attempt, just straight down. Unfortunately, there was just no entry there, was there? It would have been nice to get a lower high or something. That would have interested me. Because I really like that channel. And at the moment, for me, it's likely just a big range day. Whether we hold on here, whether we will get back down here remains to be seen. But at the moment, if I look at it like that, it's just a big range day, isn't it? We're about, what are we, 5, 10, 50... 5, 10, 50. We're about 15 points off the lows, aren't we? Something like that, which is not a lot. So 18 points maybe. So let's just look at this. So there is a possibility, if we can get below there, that we do this. Where would that take us? Should take us close to the lows. Okay, yeah. A couple of points away from the lows. So if we can, we've got a leg down, if we can get another push up here, we may get something. I think we're going to retest the highs of the day in the next hour. You reckon? Yeah. See, it's clearly holding around there. If we can get below there, then I expect us to get down to at least maybe the open with the possibility. But what I'd like to see is a leg and a couple of legs of corrections and a leg down. But if it is just a big range day, then it may not encourage as many buyers to get in there. But what I will say is, if you look at the 10,000 tick chart, that for me now is null and void. So I'd say somewhere in the region of that. There's a channel up there. We had a break, tried to go higher a bunch of times and then turned down. So big bearish bar there, so which has triggered. So yeah, it's a little bit pie in the sky at the moment. So it could do either or. But if we can get another leg, 2 legs of correction, then we may get another leg down. Let's see how good this looks. So we've made a new low, haven't we? So we've got a leg down, one attempt to go higher. Does that account, Clay? Does it? If that's broken low in there, so can you still count that as your second push higher? I can't think. So we've got a leg down. You're up here, are you? So we've got a leg down, one attempt to go higher, second. Even though that's broken but the lows are there, can you still account that? You can, yeah. Okay, so leg down. They're not as big moves, are they? But it's clearly a push up, isn't it? So see what happens when it hits this support again. But if it does push lower and gets below here, then I can see some downward stuff. But I mean, obviously, you can clearly see where we've been bouncing. Let's see what happens. So leg down, first attempt to go higher, second attempt to go higher. Let's see what happens here. Possibly a hidden second entry short. See how that comes. Just how to stop hunt usually means we go in the other direction. Okie doke. Still bullish, yeah, okay. Push up, push up. See how this finishes, okay. Not bearish enough, really. Bearish, but EMA's a bit flat. Well, this slightly leg up, leg up. After this big push down, so yeah, we've come down here and we've bounced a few times, haven't we? But we pushed up. Now we've come down. I wouldn't be surprised to see this. We got sort of like a couple of legs. I'm thinking more bearish at the moment. So I'll have a little side bet, $500 million. You're going for long, I'm going for short. I can afford that this month, I think. Okay, one push up, two push up. Are you in that clay or not? Oh no, you're bullish, aren't you? So you're probably not. I'm thinking bearish after all this. We've had our try to go up time and it just hasn't worked. So, I mean, we need to get below these lows here, but I'm thinking bearish at the moment. I am. I concur overall bullish. I concur, yeah. But in the moment, we are bearish. No, but too rich for your blood, mate, is it? I haven't got 500 million. Most of it's invested in me boat and houses. Okay, so there's a higher low there, so possible second entry long. Actually, that channel's broken. We've had a new low. Possible second entry long. Tempting, but for me, this is clearly choppy and sideways. So, you know what the day's been like, don't you? It's been a bit punishing. So, it's kind of a nice looking bar, but it's rather big, isn't it? 14 ticks and it ain't finished yet. Tick above, tick below. It's finished naff as well. Yeah, it's choppy. I think after this big move down, we've had all the trying to push up and it's gone up a bit, come down, gone up a bit, come down, gone up, and then drop. So for me, I think we're going to come down and make a second leg, or certainly come down maybe at least to this level. But we haven't broken the lows since before the market opened, so it's been a while. But after this and a break, I can see it's coming down, but it is choppy, so we shall see. We shall see. In fact, while it's doing this dancing sideways stuff, I'm just going to put that out of the way a minute. I'm just going to take a quick 5-minute break, make a cup of tea. My mouth is drying up, so there we go. So you can see that, can't you? Okay, so I'll be 3 to 5 minutes. I'm just going to make a quick cup of tea, and I will be back. Okay, let's have a look. Let's get rid of that. 5-minute break. Okay, so quick push up followed by a quick drop down. Yeah, see, it's so choppy around here, isn't it? Okay, so we've pushed up. Maybe if we get a second entry long. Let's put that there. Trouble is, if you do that, it's an overshoot, so... 14 points total. Good for you, mate. Good on you. Trouble is, if you look there, we're clearly going sideways, aren't they? That might just be a bit of a failed breakout. Who knows? I don't know. So, let's see if we get a higher low here. Let's see if this is... My slight concern is we pushed up like that and then dropped quickly. So we got a leg down here. I don't know. Maybe one attempt to go higher. Maybe a second. I don't know. It's not very clear. It's just choppy at the moment. So if I do that, yeah, it's choppy as hell, isn't it? Possible second entry long, but same again. It's just, well, look, it's not very clear at the moment, is it? May just be one of those days today. Push up, maybe a leg and a leg, and continuation. It's just so hard, isn't it? There's clearly some congestion. You can see that right the way along there. And it smashed up through it, but then dropped even quicker. How far was that? Bigger that was that bar. Yeah, so it dropped like 4.25 points straight down. Let's have a look. Is the 10,000 tick chart telling us anything? Do you know something? If I look at the 10,000 tick chart, that touches there, touches there. That looks like a channel with a break, so it's just after this and the break a new high and down and a break. We're coming down for me. Well, we're more likely to come down, but it's just sideways, so it's just going to be traps galore in here. So leg down. It is a hard day, mate. You're not wrong, lad. There's a lot of chop today, isn't there? Push up sideways, push up sideways, push down sideways, push up sideways, push down sideways. Excuse me. Yeah, it is. You can get messed up today if you're not careful, can't you? The only one I think I've really seen this morning is that one. We had a leg up. We had a perfect two-legged correction. Nice big bullish bar. I like that. Unfortunately, I wasn't obviously at the chart then. I think I was around about the gym then. So we had this big push up, didn't we? Then we went sideways, and then we started to go up a little bit, but it just sort of fizzled, didn't it? And then down we come. But we're bouncing around this level and this level at the moment. We got this clear support here, and resistance at the bottom, or support and resistance, whatever they are. And we're clearly struggling to get through it. Then we burst through it. Then we drop strongly. Now we're bouncing off it. So I'm thinking bearish at the moment. We've got a leg down, break new low, 2 legs of correction. It's definitely bearish for me at the moment, but I'm not trading anything because it's also sideways. It's bearish with a bit of awkward chop, sort of similar to what it was earlier, but I can't see a decent signal bar to go long or short at the moment, which might encourage some traders to get in. After a break new low, there's nothing really. It's just a funny bar, isn't it? Then along here, it's clearly congested. All of a sudden, up it goes, comes down. There's nothing long or short, really, is there? What I'd like to see is to try to go once, try twice, that to trigger above there, and then drop really bearish. But I don't know, it's just sideways. Yeah, it's definitely bearish for me. 10,000 tick chart. We've had that leg up with a break, a few pushes, a little bit of sideways, and then up to a new high. We've come down. So we touched here. It fits perfectly in there, and we've had a break, push up, and a drop down. So a lower high. I think we're going to continue down. Then obviously there is some quite a lot of support along there. So that, but if we get a decent, maybe lower high, that may encourage some shorts in there. But we've got a perfect touch. Sorry, touch. Perfect fit there, perfect fit there. So that's confirmed on the bigger. Now this is the 10,000 tick chart, bigger scale, but it's, you know, we've had a break and it's looking like it's working down, so maybe a lower high. Trouble is, it's not the best bearish bar to go short. It doesn't mean it's not going to come down, but it's coming down at a slower pace. So if we get a lower high here, then I wouldn't be shocked if we one leg, two leg, then come down for another leg, which would get us around to these lows. So, but that's all sort of maybe an educated guess. Apart from that, in the small term stuff, it's clearly just congested and sideways. So I do fancy it for coming short, but there's just nothing here at the moment which would interest me. I think it's a bear trap. We're going up. Yeah, it could be a bunch of stuff, mate. The trouble is when it's like this, you just never quite know. But you clearly can't trade it, can you? Which is okay. I've got no problems with this. When I can sit here patiently for 3 hours, that's good. I'm happy about that because so many times before I haven't been able to. So just that slow moulding of my sort of brain to be able to sit here again and again and again and just wait patiently. It's taken time, but it's working nice. I can quite comfortably sit here now for 3 hours, whereas I was itching to take trades and just looking for anything to get into a trade before. But I think it's something that you sort of manipulate your brain to, you've got to do it, but you keep trying to push that brain and push it to sort of try to work the right way, because obviously, we've all read human beings don't make good traders just because of the emotional sort of interaction. But given enough time just to sit here, and we know the trades, we've seen good trades enough, but just to sit here patiently and not take trades just takes time to build up. But I feel like I'm in a good place there. Yeah, it takes time, Clay, doesn't it? But I'm a big believer if you stick at something enough, at the end of the day, you can't help but get better at reading these charts, can you? You can't help it. It'll just happen organically, won't it? The more you sit here, it goes without saying. So that's quite a nice bearish bar. So whether that'll be the one that pushes it down or not, I don't know. I wouldn't have taken that one because, it's just clearly congested anyway. You've only got to look left, haven't you? But at some point, it'll move one way or the other, won't it? But it's just that bigger picture on the 10,000 tick chart. As I'm looking at it now, you can see what I'm saying, can't you? So it fits lovely in there. We've had a break. We've gone up so far, and then we've come down quite strongly. So a lower high, I think, and a decent looking signal bar may encourage some people. But as you say, every man and his dog might go short, and all of a sudden, woof, off it goes. But we've got there is a possibility of another channel there. So let's have a look. I actually kind of like that. So let's see if that continues. Once we get below these lows, especially below here, then there's nothing that's going to stop it for me until we get maybe to here. Although there is some congestion there, so it could just go down and do some more sideways. But we've had a channel down, we've had a couple of legs up, one leg up, two legs up, and so far it's doing what I expected it to do. But trouble is, when it gets in here, it could just turn. So that's the target. Once we can get below there, a quick drop there. So I'm guessing there was a few stops there. Luckily, you were out, Clay, before there, so that's a good sign. We're below there now. If we can hold below there on this next bar, then I can see us coming down. But that might be an overshoot of this, so it could shoot back up. Who knows? But after this, I don't know. I can't see it going up now for a bit. But like I say, we've had that overshoot. Mind you, it's not really confirmed that channel. So it might not necessarily mean nothing. So let's see what happens. It's not pushing up as strong as I thought it might do. Okay, this is looking bearish for me. Did we agree on that $500 million bet, Clay? I can't remember now. We got witnesses. No, it's not finished yet anyway, so. Or did you bottle out? I think you might have done. It's actually not confirmed that channel, so maybe it's just something a little bit, something like that. Okay, leg down. I like the way we're holding below there, so that's a good sign for me. So I can see a little pop up there and then down again. Okay, so on the 10,000 tick chart, we've clearly made that new low. So we touched perfectly, fitted lovely there, had a break, clearly made a new low now. Now we're below this, so I think there's a good chance we may continue down. I think it's likely whether we have a bit of a pullback and then down some more, but I'm bearish at the moment. It was always about finishing, closing below there, which it's done. So let's see some more. Okay, so next stop. There is still quite a lot of congestion here, so it may come down and just do a load more sideways again, but that's the next target for me. But I do like that measured leg. Let's see, down there and up there. So that would be there, which would take us just below that. I'd like to see a retest of this, or even maybe get close to this and then drop below there. So we've got a leg down, a couple of legs, break new low, 2 legs of correction. Unfortunately, it didn't. I was hoping it may come back and clip that and then close below there, in which case I may have had a go at a short. Okay, so that's, excuse me, my first target there, which was the open. And in fact, there's a little bit of support around there, wasn't there? So it may stall a bit there. Let's have a look. Let's see if there's a bigger channel there. Click. Why don't you click in? Click. There we go. Hello, Sam. How you doing, buddy? Look left. There's also previous 2 legs up from measured move. In about here and here. In about there and there. Here and here, or there and there. Good on you, mate. Good on you. Yeah, once we got below here, if we held there, you're trading a runner. You're always in a bloody runner, mate. I bet you're in a runner from last month still, aren't you? Where'd you go? Up here somewhere, did you? I kind of like that for a bigger channel, and the reason I like it is because we've come down, we've gone a little bit sideways and come down again. So I like the fact that we're still in this. So if we can get a break, couple of legs up, I'm good for going short there, because my target from 42.50. 42.50. Oh, not too far. Not too far. 42.50. Oh, I see what you mean. 42.50. There's 2 legs up. 42.50. What about here? From there, you mean? I can't see what you're on about, mate. 42.50, that's here. 2 legs up from here. You're on about after, I'm not sure what you mean there, bud. Couple of legs up here would be nice. Okay, leg down, couple of legs up, whether you call that a leg and a break or 2 legs up from there, and then another leg down. Let's get that accurate. So I think that's quite likely. And if we come down there, mind you, we haven't been coming down to the bottoms a lot lately, have we? So it may just come down to that measured move. And funnily enough, that measured move, I can get it accurate. Let's have a look. Measured move takes us close to here. And same again, touch, touch, touch. There's a little bit of resistance. So it may just hit that measured move, but oh, come on, I was hoping we'd have a bit of a pullback. Unfortunately, once it goes, there's just nothing you can do. I was hoping we'd come down here and have a couple of legs up here, maybe confirm a bigger channel, and then have an entry there, but we're just way too far from the EMA, and it's just gone without us, unfortunately. You're out, are you? Good on you, mate. Okay, so there's my first target. Let's see what happens when it hits that. Gotta go back to sleep. Okay, so that's holding kind of nice there. I like that. So how far have we come down? Could we come more? Yeah. So sometimes it'll come down so far and then just carry on up. So once it's come down so far, I get a bit concerned about going short there. We'll have to see what we get set up like, but let's see if we can confirm this. But I like what it's done there. Oh. Two legs would be nice. Although we have come very close to that open, just a couple of ticks away. Okay, leg down, break. 2 legs of correction, another leg down. Come on, pull back a bit. Wow, no hanging around there. I'm quite surprised. I thought we might get a couple of legs. Okay, that's just bounced off that perfectly. Okay, so that's played out. So now what are we going to do? Are we going to bounce from here, or are we going to continue down? Yeah, you owe me 500 million quid. Tell a lie, dollars, it's a bit cheaper. It's all right. I wasn't convinced it was coming down, mate. It just, after that, and sideways, usually we go push up, sideways, push up, push down, sideways, push down. So I'll give you my PayPal account after the stream and you can deposit in there. All right. That should keep me going. I might knock on the head today, to be fair. It's just choppy and a bit unpredictable. I'm not sure where it's going to go here. Maybe a bit of an overshoot. We may go up, we may not. I don't know. Sometimes when it's like this, I'd rather finish on the zero. At least that way. I don't get caught up in any of this. So it's touching nice there. It could be a small overshoot, that, so in which case it may push up, but it is really choppy day. There's nothing obvious for me, really. The only thing I will say is after that leg up and the 2-leg correction, that didn't look too bad. I did look at that, and it looked like we had 2 legs. Ordinarily, I would have taken that. My only slight concern is I do this so many times, get into trades, and it triggers me and comes down, and it turns out then we just end up having a range, and you can clearly see what it's pushing up to there. Now that for me is creating a possible top of a range, and it can come down there, trigger you, come down there, trigger you, and then just come down. So I find them always a little bit more risky, although it does look like 2 legs. You may have taken the higher low, but the higher low was just a bit naff as well. So, I don't know. After that especially, do you really want to get stuck in again? So apart from that, some may have taken that, I don't know, but for that it was a little bit risky, but there's nothing else. You may have taken that failure, a break out of this, but the trouble is with it looking, we've confirmed 3 times and we're still moving. You don't know whether we're just going to have a couple of legs backing up. So you may have taken that. There was a second entry long there. There'd have possibly been some longs in there. Failing that, there's nothing else I think that's really stands out to me. It's quite an awkward day. It looks like it's moving, but it's moving, chopping, moving, chopping, moving, chopping. So, and once it starts to move, usually once we've had the move and you get like your 2 legs back, but when it moves, it just goes sideways. So it's pretty hard to read. So that measured legs played out there, and it looks to me like that could almost bottom. So bit of an overshoot there. That may cause us to push up. I'm certainly not thinking about going short at the moment, because the measured leg has played out. So I'm probably going to leave it there, actually. So I don't mind finishing on 0, especially when it's been a day like this. At the end of the day, our job's to turn up and take trades if they're available, and in my opinion, there's just not a fantastic amount today. And what was around was a bit risky and a bit just, hit and miss. So I kind of don't mind. I kind of don't mind having a 0 day. It's a good exercise in patience anyway, if anything. And my patience at the moment are really good lately, so I'm quite okay to have a good testing day. So big bearish bar there, push up, a little bit of size, big bearish bar, but I think that might be a trap for that little overshoot. But that's me anyway, so I appreciate all your comments. It's been one of those days today. Some people have got, I think Clay, you got some points. Oh, some you got some points. I don't know about anybody else, but as I say, it depends what you what type you trade. But the one else that I will say again is that was the Penguin trade. I think it was a nice trade, that, and it worked beautifully. Yeah, you too, pal. You too. So that's it. So I'm going to go and have my dinner. And not come back to the charts. I've not come back to the charts in the last 2 weeks, so I'm quite pleased about that. So far, things are going well. And it does feel different this time because I've reduced that risk. Yeah, same to you, Edward. So, right, I hope you've had a good day. That's a result for me. Nothing stupid. But yeah, you get some days. It's clearly a bit of an awkward day, but we get them. It's life, isn't it? So, have a great evening all. Appreciate your comments. Stay safe, and I will see you same time tomorrow. Bye for now.